Agreed.
Yeah, I was watching a video of a lot of black women, man. You know, the passport bros. And I'm seeing more of that, so I was like, man, y'all really losing out here, man. In the dating world, I guess. Nobody really
Come with too much bullshit.
just a lot of people. You know, talking about how Eve, you know, sided with the devil, and now the devil's going down, she's going down. Prophecy.
Ain't no graphs on this shit. You gotta fix this.
Say I did too.
You mind holding me Ciroc 38? I think that's it. No, Ciroc 39. First one. The spirit on the lesson I did before I came down to camp. So I was watching these videos. You know, there's a lot of videos out there of men who make little videos, take clips of women, like on the internet, you know, crying and shit like that. That's all they do, you know. And there's a lot of, what I noticed, there's a lot of so-called black women, primarily, you know, the Southern Kingdom. We call them Eve, you know. Adam basically represents Israel, the Israelite man, you can say. Judah being the Negroes, the real Jews, being the head tribe, you know. You can basically say that's the head, right? So you think of Adam, you may think of so-called black man. Just like Eve, you may think of so-called black woman. But Eve also represents all the tribes, okay? The Negroes, Latino, and Native American as well. And what you see is a lot of the Southern Kingdom, though, a lot of Eve on the internet upset that they're basically, they're upset at those men that's deciding to leave the country, right? They call them passport bros. And what they're upset is that, because they're women, of course they're going to be upset. But they're upset that on their way out, they're also telling the truth about these men, right? They're telling them, like, look, you're masculine, you're not feminine, you want to be a man, you believe in abortions, you know, you're not wife material. Basically, they was hitting them with the truth. And it's caused a lot of them to be mad and to be upset at it. But what I just took from it is I just told you, like, that's because you women are losing. You're losing because you chose to side with the devil,
right,
and eat of his fruit versus sticking with the scriptures and what the Lord said, right? So what's happening is as this society declines, Esau is being brought down, we raising up, and those of you who are joined to Esau, you being brought down. That includes you women. The Charles Barkley, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Steve Harveys, they're going down too. They have their time of being coons and dressing up like women and all that for that bag. And whenever Jake got out of line, they stood in. Oh, I denounced that. He needs to apologize, step back, get a check, enjoy, make another movie. No, that shit's over. That shit's over. Now the moment when you cool step up, all of Jake bridge you, man, they derail you because they're like, look, you a sellout. You a sellout. Things aren't going back to normal school. So all of those who are joined into Esau society, whether it's by masonry, a covenant, a deal, or like the women, you slept in the same bed, you being brought low. And now the true order of how things always was is coming back to play, and it's being talked about.
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Right, now that serpent is talking about an actual man. It's referenced several times throughout the scriptures as one who's just a serpent, a poisonous viper, a snake, one who moves like that. Well, it says it's a beast. Well, we're all beasts. You know what I'm saying? Contact with the baby in Genesis 1 and I think like 24 or something. The 5th day.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, you know, let us make man. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
No. Holy creature.
Verse 24. And it says, God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, creeping thing, beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and God saw that it was good.
Right. So everything came on the keep going.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he them. He, him, male and female created them. And it says, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over everything that moveth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb.
Verse is like verse 18.
And it says, and the evening and the morning were the 4th day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the living creature that have life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. God said it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day.
Right, so those are on the 5th day. When it says, let the waters bring forth every moving creature, that's talking about us too. Man was created on the 5th day. We all come from water. That's why 70% of our body is water. Just about every part of our ligaments, what we use depends on water. That's why you can go almost a damn week without eating, but you can't go very far without water. That's what your body needs, right? So that beast also was created, which was us, men, because we're also beasts too. Right? Even King Solomon said that. So that serpent was actually a man. Now at the time he had melanin, but he had the spirit of Satan. It's that same spirit of Cain, the same spirit of Esau, Edom. When that serpent came to Eve, he understood what was the law and the commandment that was given. He basically can't keep so-called black women, just like he did, and all that feminism and all that really started in the 60s, right? That's when it really took root, and Planned Parenthood and all that stuff. But that was Genesis chapter 3 being reenacted, and you failed the test again, right?
Verse 5. For Yahweh doth know that in that day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Right, because at first we only knew good. That's all we knew. So when he said that when you eat of the fruit, you're gonna be as powers, knowing good and evil. Because all we knew was actually good. Right? So when the Lord came on the scene, he He's like, how do you know both good and evil? Then? So he knew something was off just because of that serpent. That serpent begat Eve.
It says, for the Allahayim doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
Now that fruit was an actual fruit, was symbolic of philosophies and ideology. Just like scriptures can be referred to as, women can be referred to as different beliefs. Also waters, right? This truth is referred to as waters. And then you can also be drawing water from other wells, streams. That's why scripture says that pour water out of thy own system. And also fruit. Because this word, truth or knowledge, referred to as food. That's why there's a phrase of food for thought. So that fruit that she took was to transgress the commandment of the Lord, was the ideology of the serpent. And like I said, back in the 60s, when the serpent had came to our women with the Planned Parenthood, feminism, and the, what is it? It's not the welfare. I think it is the welfare.
Yeah, welfare.
The welfare. And a part of those benefits was that there could not be a man in the house. What they sold to you was, look, let me be your daddy and your family's daddy. Put the man out. So you put the man out and let the government be your daddy. Right? So right then and there, you just put yourself in a bad position. You gonna say something?
No.
Okay. So what happened was, and that was over 60 years ago, so now we're seeing the product of those laws being passed and that way of living being idolized. Because these women, all they're looking for is a come up. And they know to get that come up, they just basically say, oh, I just need to find a man that got it good going on, have a child, and then now the power's in my hand. And you'll destroy your household, all for the sake of filthy gain, because you want to live a whore's life. Because that's what Esau Edom tactically made for you, a life where you can live to be a whore, unaccountable. You got all these ways out of the natural consequences of living life like a whore. Oh, you got pregnant? You can take care of that. Here's a pill. Oh, you missed your birth control? That's another thing that got you on that birth control. That's when you really felt empowered. You know? You really felt like, yeah, we strong now. I'm just like you, man. You know? I don't have to be unclean for a month. I mean, for like 9 days out the month. That's what the devil came to you. Then he went further and gave you abortions, which is just legal murder. There's no such thing as legal murder. Yes, it is. A fucking abortion. It's actual legal murder, right? And they harvest those body parts. All the information's been brought out. You understand?
They said studies showed that there's fetus parts in like your favorite drinks, you know, like Dr. Pepper, you know, and all those kind of drinks, you know.
And food.
Fast food, McDonald's, stuff like that.
Yeah, because there was a couple, there was an Edomite couple who set up Planned Parenthood. They set them up as if they was interested in the job, but they was wearing hidden cameras, and they was talking about how they selling the body part. They was talking about how the heart is the #1 seller, the heart. Right? But they didn't know they was on camera, so when they brought it all out, they ended up suing. They sued them, and the government wrote a check to Planned Parenthood because they got caught. That's how you know they're guilty. They got caught admitting on camera, the people who work for them. See? It's a business. It's no different from the book of Exodus.
It says, and she took of the fruit and did eat, and he gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yahweh power walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh and God amongst the trees of the garden.
Basically, other people.
It says, and Yahweh God called unto Adam and said unto him, What art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to eat with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Yahweh said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And Yahweh said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat.
Yeah, that's talking about Esau. He is cursed above all the beasts of the earth. And upon thy belly thou shalt go. He's talking about their living conditions. They basically live like some damn cavemen. You know, especially during the time that they were oppressed for over 1,000 years, and during the time of King David. That's how they naturally lived. They live like literal cavemen. You know, and the dust represents confusion. So all they know is confusion. That's why in the book of Malachi says, well, basically everything that is wicked, because it's just confusion. What do they really have to be proud of? That they successfully passed legislation for people to same-sex marriages, bestiality, GMO foods, it's not actual foods. What have they actually accomplished that's actually beneficial to society? Nothing. They call abortion health care. They say health care. Health care for who?
Verse 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Right. So that seed, so hopefully the children of the Lord, the Israelites. Right. So it really went back to the book of Genesis, because it all happened in the womb any damn way with Jacob and Esau. Right. And did it say what? He bruised his head?
God, it says, it shall bruise. It said, in her seed it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Right. So we went. That's why there's always some strife between us, right? For the period of time, for us bruising his head, we put him in slavery. We had him in slavery. We had him under subjection for a long period of time, and we always had war with these damn people. Even during the Renaissance period, there's 1,000 years of Esau not being able to come up at all. So we had him oppressed, right? So we bruised his head. It's like the head. Alright, so likewise, so y'all try to treat us the same as we treat each other.
Esau, they know the scriptures. It's a movie I seen a while back here. So-called white man was trying to invade this so-called black man that had a brother, a house. And I'm talking about he was jacking him up, body slamming him, throwing him down the steps, doing all this. Grandma looked at him and said, you bruising our head, but we bruising your head. So he know to put that shit in these movies because they know what's up for real.
Right. You can say the heel represents like the foundation of Your foundation, for the most part, is being rooted out. Because it's established upon lies, upon lies, upon lies. That's why Elder Malcolm had beautifully said to wake up is an act of war. And that's how they look at it. Kyrie Irving. Hey, you should go watch this movie. They're like, oh, this means war. Why? Because you telling people that they're Israelites? Mind you, that guy, Ronald Dalton, he doesn't have 100% truth. But the Lord used him as well to at least push that knowledge that we indeed are Israelites. But he doesn't believe in the chariots and all the 12 tribes, these all the 12 tribes of black, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't got it 100%. But nevertheless, the truth is that everything's honing in on the truth.
Right.
All it takes is the truth to overthrow your whole society. Like Brother beautifully said before, our faith we have moved this mountain. That's the power that we have. Esau, Edom, when they want to get things done, they pick up the AR. They pick up the pistol. They pick up the pen. And they go to, they use their iron, slippery tongues to put it to work, right? When we want to get things done, what do? We pick up this book right here. That's all we've been doing, and look what's happening. So all you simpletons out there who look at this as weak, if there's no power in this, you witnessing the power and the effects of it as we speak.
That's right.
What's trending in the news today, that is a product of what we've been doing, starting with the apostles and elders of that.
God, and this devil want to talk about starting war, man. You devils the main ones that started war with the Israelites, man. You know, especially you the top head tribe Amalek, man. Because who was the first ones to come mess with us as soon as we came out the flood? You devils did, man. You know? And what did the Lord say to y'all? Y'all, when you attacked us, you declared war, man. So don't, you devils want to sit up and say we declaring war. You've been declared war, man. And the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, is going to finish that war, man. You know?
Right. That's how they look at it. You walk around and look, I'm studying, I'm a Jew, I'm on all that. They basically grabbing their sword like, oh, this means war. This means war, sir. You weren't allowed to say those things. You weren't allowed to wake up. You're supposed to stay asleep. You want to come out the matrix? That's a problem.
Yeah, appreciate it. This is 2 Corinthians 10, starting at the 3rd verse. It says, though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, right? For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, okay? Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai, okay? Having a readiness to revenge all